So I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Keep talking good about LabCentral. We like that.
You know, we're hungry. We have the entire Kendall Square community around us. A $50,000 award to pay your LabCentral rent. Serendipity from the LabCentral community.
Script there. Welcome to The Dish, where we invite entrepreneurs to share their insights into the next generation of biotech companies. I'm Johannes, founder and CEO of LabCentral and Biolabs. After over a decade of working with entrepreneurs and supporting more than 1,200 startups, I'm here to bring you stories from our ecosystem. Are you ready to dish? Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into The Dish. Today we're talking to the founder and CEO of Deck Bio, Jack Silberstein. Jack attended Stanford, where he received his PhD in immunology. Before Deck Bio, he also worked at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine as part of their prostate cancer clinical trials research team, where he met over 400 patients and 200 doctors. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you for having me today.
In our dish conversations, we ask our participants to always bring an orange object because LabCentral loves orange. What did you bring for us today?
Today, I have an Orange Theory towel. We're a health care company at the heart of it. We're very focused on health. And, when it comes to, trying to get my daily workout in, Orange Theory is the place to go. Shout out to Orange Theory, Kendall Square.
They give you a discount for that. So you're in stealth mode. And Deck Bio, we're not going to really make you tell us what Deck Bio does, but we want to use this to sort of discuss the meta and the how, right? Learn a little bit about your background and creative approaches to fundraising so far.
Yeah. So for me, you mentioned earlier, before doing my PhD, I worked in oncology clinical trials at Johns Hopkins. And there I enrolled patients in phase 1 to phase 3 clinical studies, really focused around using biomarker selected trials to enrich for patients to standard of care. During that time, I really saw that the thing that drove a step change in patients' quality of life and happiness was when there was a new drug that was coming through the pipeline, either a new clinical trial or something that was a new drug coming out commercially. And so I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And so then ultimately I looked at a bunch of PhD programs across the country and applied to ones where I could specifically train to be a protein engineer to learn how to make new drugs. And so that's what took me to Stanford. And then ultimately with Deck, we're really combining those two things of protein engineering and clinical expertise to develop new medicines, doing clinically informed protein engineering, and really just trying to, as urgently as possible, get new therapies to patients in need.
Stanford, Baltimore, you're building your company in Boston. What made you come here?
Yeah, so when we were, starting this, I was talking to a bunch of different friends about some different ideas in the space, kind of looking at what medicines were being developed. We were looking at incubators everywhere from DC to Boston. And I'm from the East Coast, from Baltimore originally, wanted to move back to the East Coast. Looking up and down the East Coast, Boston, LabCentral was the clear winner in terms of, having the right talent pool around, the right investor pool around, and just kind of being right at the heart of a biotech as an industry.
Thank you. We like to hear that. That's really great. Keep talking good about LabCentral. We like that. Tell us about how you see the benefits of this local community so far.
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience for me. When I moved here, I didn't really have a big network. And since being here at LabCentral, I have been able to meet with a ton of different founders, different companies, learn a lot about how to do proper drug development from people that are really experienced coming here from pharma. And, all of my greatest connections here are, the CEOs or CSOs of these companies, where if I have any question about, HR, accounting, et cetera, I know exactly who to go to. And then in terms of doing actual science, there's people that have been doing these exact types of drug discovery efforts for 10 years that are right down the hall, and I'll go and I'll knock on their door and be like, how are you guys doing this, or how do you guys think about this? So,
Jack, let's talk a little bit about your experience as a first-time founder. Fundraising isn't helpful for early-stage companies these days, right? How are you managing that, and what's your response?
Yeah, no, I mean, right now with the market the way it is, very few VCs are flocking to founder-led biotech. We've been able to raise in spite of that, through the golden ticket, the Mission Bio Capital program. We're hungry and we're all about urgency. And in terms of what we're looking to build here is a company that's actually developing real medicines that are going to get approved and pushing things forward in that way. And in terms of my background, that's exactly why I went to Stanford, was to train in protein engineering, learn from a great community of entrepreneurs, and then bring that back to the East Coast to be where I wanted to build my life. And so we're doing it. We're excited about the next frontier. We're excited about what we're building, and we have all of the capabilities to deliver for investors, and really excited for the next journey.
That's great. If I'm a critical investor and I challenge my first-time founder by saying, you lack 20 years of experience, how are you going to make up for that?
So I've made up for it through a large set of advisors, both formal and informal. That was, again, one of the reasons we want to locate here at LabCentral is there's people that have done this time and time again that are right down the hall. You just knock on their door and they're willing to have coffee, chat. And then the other piece is we have the entire Kendall Square community around us that has built many drugs before. And so we have a team of advisors that have taken 11 drugs across the FDA approval finish line that have generated over $100 billion in revenue. And those are the people that are advising us and wanted to be part of Dec Bio. And so really just trying to use all of this knowledge around me to really guide how to execute and deliver as quickly as possible for patients.
Excellent. So you're marrying the hunger and the drive of the young entrepreneur with the wisdom of the Kendall Square community. I like that. That's
exactly.
Great. You mentioned the golden ticket at LabCentral. Can you tell us or tell the audience how that went for you and what the program provides?
Yeah, so being in LabCentral, there's all these opportunities to funding that you might not see elsewhere. They have it up on the TVs here that you can apply to this golden ticket, a $50,000 award to pay your LabCentral rent and expenses. And so we applied on a whim, and we were fortunate enough to make the finalists, and then presented in a pitch competition against 4 other groups, and won free rent for 6 months, which was an amazing outcome for us. And we've had a great experience with that. It was a golden ticket sponsored by Servier, and we've been able to meet with their BD team, keep them up to date. They're giving us feedback, and it's just been a really wonderful experience.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That it's part of the program that we've designed to bring the farmers and our founders closer together, and I'm glad it's working out for you.
Yeah, hopefully, some early BD conversations going on.
Fingers crossed. Jack, you also mentioned the Platinum program from Mission Bio Capital.
Yes.
And you're one of the lucky recipients for that investment. Can you tell the audience a little bit about that program?
Yes, so the Platinum program also, one we weren't expecting to apply to, but, got encouraged by people in the LabCentral community to apply. And it's a program that's sponsored by Eli Lilly, Ono Pharma, and Mission Bio Capital. And we ultimately applied, and we pitched in front of a large group virtually, 50 plus people. There was over 380 companies that applied, and we were one of the lucky 6 few that won. And it provides up to $500K in investment from those groups, along with access to Alloy Therapeutics in terms of doing discovery services, Goodwin Partners for doing legal services, as well as Vanden Boom and Associates for doing some accounting and bookkeeping.
Are you using all of these?
We've been using Goodwin, and we're still deciding on the other ones.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's been an amazing experience, and we've met with the BD teams at both Ono and Lilly, as well as the venture teams, and so just really would recommend it to anybody that's on the fence. Just do it.
We've heard that you've recently hired a good friend of ours into your little company. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, and again, it was serendipity from the LabCentral community. We were looking far and wide for kind of this phenotype of somebody that has taken drugs to the clinic, has kind of that expertise around preclinical development. and it was the next bay over from us that another company that I had been networking with, communicating with, have a lot of friends there. They knew that we were looking, and they had previously worked with Joe Kaufman, who we ended up hiring as our CSO. Recommended her to us, connected us, and we've had an amazing experience, working with her. It's been a great hire for us.
Thanks for sharing that. So you hired Joe. How many people do you have in your company?
So we're now a company of 3.
Wow.
We are a very lean team. We work through a lot of CROs to kind of maximize, the return on our dollars right now, and looking to continue growing and, get this drug to patients as quickly as possible.
So you're small and nimble. 3 people in stealth mode means you really need to focus and keep the motivation on the target. How do you do that?
So we have a main drug that a lead program that we're really focused on, that we have a lot of exciting data coming along, and really it's very motivating when we know that this could have such a large impact on patients. And we're really focused on oncology as an indication, and knowing that for multiple people within our company, they've had families that have been affected by cancer. For me, when I was working at Hopkins, working with over 400 patients and their families, and really seeing that firsthand, it's extremely motivating to drive that sense of urgency that, we can't be waiting.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I think we see that a lot with our founding groups here, that they have, beyond the science, they're motivated by the patient interest. It's really great. Knowing what you know now, is there any advice that you would share with the younger Jack as he embarks on his journey of being a scientist and an entrepreneur?
Yes. I would tell him, definitely go to LabCentral again.
Scripted.
I would definitely recommend, networking has been the ultimate thing for me. And, in terms of our scientific advisory board, it's all, friends from my previous lives, the clinic from Stanford, et cetera. And then also from LabCentral as well, a lot of expertise, around the table, people that have developed drugs before, and really just trying to help us guide this next generation of drugs that we're developing at DEC And so, really just leaning into meeting new people. You never know who's going to be that connection, and don't withhold yourself. Send that email, go to that event, and really, get out there.
That's great. That's great advice. We'll have that on tape, and we'll replay it all the time. Thank you so much, Jack, for sharing that experience, and it was great to learn about your story. And thank you to everyone watching here, and I hope you'll tune back into the dish for our next episode.
Great.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.